Should free-to-play players consider skipping Heng and Imbibitor Lunae and just go for Xuan, or should they just pull the trigger and pull for best boy, Danny boy? We're going to discuss that in today's video. I'm going to be talking about how much value there is on each banner and which banner would probably make your account a little better if you decide to pull on it. It is really difficult to only speak about the 5-star unit because inevitably you're going to be pulling for the 4-star units as well. And then for the Heng banner, you're going to be having Yukong, Asta, and March 7th. All of three are free-to-play units, so all of them you should already have a copy of. So this is more of an idle-long chase or an idle-long collecting banner as far as 4 stars are concerned. Okay, starting off with March 7th, she is a fantastic unit, especially if you don't have a lot of preservation options and a lot of sustain options. She's going to help you tremendously. However, when it comes to power creep, which inevitably is going to happen, and she also has some power creep already in the game in the form of Gepard, there's a character that you may use right in the beginning of the game, but you may not even touch pretty much after ever. When you get her E6, she becomes more of a healer as well, which is also good, but it's not something that's going to like break the game. If you get her to E6, you're probably better off, if you want to heal, you're probably better off just using a Natasha, which is also free, and then you'll be better, like way better off. She also has a cleanse on her skill, which could be beneficial, kind of like Natasha as well. But again, if you need a cleanse and a healing, you might as well just run Natasha. Yeah, overall, not a tremendous value with March 7th. Okay, the next character is going to be Asta, and she's a very interesting unit because although she's free, one of the very first units you get in the game, she's one that scales tremendously into the late game, and you'll never be wrong by bringing Asta into a team. She is incredibly beneficial. Provides a lot of attack and speed to your team, which everybody knows how good speed is in the late game, especially when you're going for those 4-cycle MOC runs. Speed is incredible. So Asta, all in all, she can provide I think up to 70% attack to your entire team, plus the speed up for your entire team. Her second Eidolon makes it to whenever she ults, she doesn't lose a stack right afterwards, or the next turn, I should say. She increases her own regeneration rate at Eidolon 4 whenever she has 2 or more stacks, and also when she reaches Eidolon 6, she reduces the amount of stacks she loses per turn by 1, which means she's only going to be losing 1 stack per turn, which is kind of crazy. That means you're going to be having that up the entire time. So Asta, if you end up maxing out your Asta, just be happy with it. She's an incredible unit. So yeah, I think she's the best 4-star in this banner for sure. Yukong's going to be the 3rd unit in this banner, and she's very interesting because she's the support that I decided to rock with in the beginning of the game when I started my second account, which is the account that I'm going to be maining in the channel. And her kit is very intricate, very clunky, very hard to use essentially, but when you get her Eidolons, as you get Eidolons for her, she becomes way easier to manage. And when you get her to E6, that's when everything just becomes really welcome, because then you can pick and choose when you have all her buffs active on whoever you want the buffs to go to. So if you have her close to E6, or if you get her E6 in this banner, she is a really good pickup, but not as good as Asta. And I think she's in the same realm as March 7th, but she's a little bit clunky. Only if you get her at E6, she's going to be a little better than March 7th when it comes to offensive and when it comes to just helping your team. Okay, now that we talked about the 4 stars, now we gotta get to the meat and taters of the video, which is going to be Imbibitor Lunae. He is going to be an imaginary DPS that's probably going to do an insane amount of damage for it's just gonna be crazy. We've seen some stuff, can't really talk about it, but he's going to be doing a lot of damage. But do you necessarily need him? If you are playing Honkai Star and you have been playing for at least a month or 2, more than likely you already have your 2 teams already set up with your 2 main DPSs, whether it be Zila, whether it be Kafka, whether it be Blade. Especially since Blade and Kafka just came out, odds are that you have one or both of them in your account ready to go. So do you really need another DPS on your account as of right now, considering that DPS characters are the ones that are going to be power crept probably the easiest and the quickest, because this is the nature of these games. So number 1, pull for Imbibitor Lunae if you just like the character, like myself. Like, I really like his design. His design to me looks absolutely insane. So regardless of what he does, I'm going to pull for him because it's going to be fun for me to click some buttons and make him do stuff, you know? That's just my take. Since my account is newer, because my account's old, but I've been playing it for a lot less time than my other account, I don't have my 2 teams already set up, so I'm looking for a secondary DPS. I do like Kafka, but I decided to skip Kafka. I have Blade with his light cone, so now I'm going to go for Dan Heng Imbibitor Lunae because 1, I really like his design. His like animations are really crazy. 2, he does a lot of damage. 3, he's imaginary, so you know, like to me, it's just like a lot of stuff for me to summon for Imbibitor Lunae. But for you, maybe you have Zila, maybe you have Kafka and Blade and Zila. You have all these people already like built up. You may not necessarily want to pull for Imbibitor Lunae, and you might want to pick him up sometime later, especially since in the same patch 1.3, there's going to be another banner that's going to be bringing a lot of value to most players' accounts, especially if you have units like Silverwolf or Zila or even Blade. Like Blade is one of the ones that's going to get the most bang for his buck whenever Xuan comes out. So do you really want to summon for Imbibitor Lunae, all things considered? My guess is if you really like the character, go ahead and summon for him. If you're looking for a second DPS or a main DPS for your second team, go ahead and he's going to be great for that. But if you already have all those things established and you want to save up and you want to be more efficient with your resources, I would recommend you to skip Imbibitor Lunae and then see what happens in the future, because Xuan's banner is going to be crazy. Lynx is crazy. Xuan is it's crazy. So those are things that you have to consider before you pull the trigger on Imbibitor Lunae. Now the next banner is going to be Xuan's banner, and let me tell you, this banner has a lot of stuff that you might want to pull for. So let's talk about the 4-star characters first. It has Lynx, Hook, and Pela. Pela is just all around amazing unit, amazing debuffer. And the good thing about Pela is that you really don't need any Eidolons for her to do what she does best, which is to lower everybody's defense. Her ultimate reduces the entire enemy's defense by 30%, which is kind of crazy. I mean, considering she hits the debuff, but if she does, she's going to reduce everybody's defense by 30%, which is kind of crazy. She also has a skill in which she dispels a buff, which is also really crazy, because there's some enemies that you have to, you don't have to, but it's really beneficial if you do end up dispelling a buff. So yeah, Pela is just a really good unit overall. Okay, Hook is another, I call Hook the throwaway unit in the banner, because unless you have Hook at E6, Hook is not going to be really doing a lot for your team. Hook does a lot of damage regardless, but at E6 is when Hook really explodes and does a lot of damage. No pun intended with the explosion, but she does a lot of damage when she's at E6. She's going to be power crept very soon with Topaz and Numbi when they come out. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to be the case. So Hook, if you pull Hook, I mean, it's okay. It's another unit that you have, but it's not something that you're going to be proud of pulling. You know what I'm saying? Now, moving on to Lynx. Lynx to me is looking kind of crazy, especially if you have a unit like Blade, which I do. I'm a Blade main. So Lynx to my Blade is going to be amazing. So Lynx is going to provide an AoE heal, AoE cleanse. She's also going to provide a max HP buff, and she's also going to do a little bit of taunting to a desired unit, which is in my case is going to be Blade. So you can taunt the Blade and everybody's going to start attacking Blade. Blade's going to stack up and start hitting people back. It's going to be crazy. I'm so excited about it. She also has passive healing, kind of like Luocha. So yeah, to me, Lynx is going to be very good. Like really good. I don't know what her Eidolons are gonna do, but I'm assuming she can only get better. Like it's really rare that a character gets worse with the more dupes you get from them. So I'm assuming that she's going to only get better. So we'll just have to wait and see. Let's talk about Fushrang. Fushrang is very interesting. A quantum preservation unit that's going to mitigate damage by sharing or absorbing damage that is done to your allies onto herself. So I think she's going to take around 70% or something like that of the damage dealt to your enemies or to your allies onto herself. And then once she gets to a certain threshold, she's going to be healing some of that damage. At the same time, her skill is going to increase your team's crit rate and their max HP by a certain percentage, which is super good for Blade as well. And then she's going to protect him from crowd control. And then also her ultimate is going to deal some quantum damage to everybody. And then also is going to heal for a little bit of a percentage of her max HP, if I remember correctly. All this we saw in the developer stream. Yeah, Fushrang is looking like a really good unit. Also, a lot of people have Zila, a lot of people have Silverwolf, and now they're going to have Lynx, and they're going to have Xuan, which is going to enable the full quantum team. And also if you don't have all of them and you just have 3 and you have Silverwolf, it still works because Silverwolf is just incredibly crazy. I'm sorry, I said crazy, I'm stupid. But yeah, I think personally this banner for me is going to do a lot more from my account, because Lynx is going to provide another healer, which I'm desperately needing of, because I haven't built my Natasha on this account, which I probably should. But since Lynx is coming out, I'm going to try my luck, see if I can get a copy or 2 of Lynx. And then also I'm going to go for Xuan, because I want to bring up the Xuan links, the Blade team, and try to test, mix and match, see which one of the two, or if the two of them are going to be better for Blade. That's going to, I'm just going to have to do my testing on my own end. I'm pretty sure I'll make a video when that comes out. But this is a banner that's going to provide a lot of value for a lot of people, because 3 out of the 4 units are units that are never going to be like a disappointment to have in your account. Like Hook can just sit in my account forever. I'll never touch him. But if I pull Lynx and Pela I'm probably going to use at some point, and a lot. And Lynx I'm definitely going to use, and Xuan I'm definitely going to use. So if I were to compare both banners, I think Xuan's banner has greater overall value. But for me, since I am an Imbibitor Lunae fan, stan, whatever you want to call them, I'm going to be pulling for both. So unfortunately, my wallet's going to have to just take a hit, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to have to pull for both in this sense. So yeah, that is going to be my analysis for the banners. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I missed anything. Put it in the comment section below. Let's have a discussion. And until next time, guys, see you.